Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is breaking out above significant resistance as new warning signals appear in the short term, which I'll talk about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is obviously continuing with this breakout above that resistance level at around 29,000 approximately, and so at least as of right now, the next significant level of resistance on the chart is sitting at around 32,500. And obviously in terms of the trend, the larger trend at play here, we are still trending in the bullish direction as we have been for the last 5 months or so. And as for other price targets further to the upside on this chart, and as for support on this chart right here, check out my last video on this channel because nothing much has changed on the 3-day time frame since my last video. But anyway, if you're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart right now, once again, the price is still continuing with this breakout above this previous significant area of resistance. And so once again, not much has happened here on the daily time frame over the last 1 day. We are still obviously seeing a bullish trend, and as for support, I would expect this previous area of resistance to now act as new support in case we see a bit of a pullback. And by the way, this price range is sitting in between 28,000 to around 29.5k. And obviously, as I've mentioned in recent videos here on the channel, the daily Bitcoin price oscillators are still currently heading in the bullish direction as well, because for example, here in the daily Bitcoin RSI, a few days ago now, we already invalidated this bearish divergence, and around the same time as that, we also saw a new bullish crossover here in the daily Bitcoin MACD, showing a return in bullish momentum. But it is important to point out that right now, even though we are still trending in the bullish direction, the daily Bitcoin RSI is of course currently in overbought territories, and if you're looking at the last couple of times this has happened, this has basically happened close to some sort of local high in the price of Bitcoin before either a short-term pullback or a sideways consolidation before potentially continuing higher later on, considering we are still in a larger bullish trend. And this actually aligns very well with what we're currently seeing here in the shorter term, because obviously, even though the price is still trending in the bullish direction, if you're looking here on the 4-hour Bitcoin to US dollar chart, we are currently seeing a bearish divergence form, which is yet to actually be confirmed, because we still need to actually confirm at least one, but ideally 2 4-hour candle closes in the red to actually cement this lower high in place in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI. Because obviously we have already confirmed higher highs in the price action in the candle closes, but considering the RSI goes off candle closes by default, we need to see at least 1 to 2 red candle closes once again to cement that lower high in place. And if that happens, then that essentially confirms this short-term bearish divergence, meaning we're likely due to see reduced bullish momentum in the shorter term. And these bearish divergences on the 4-hour time frame usually last for around 1 to 2 days or so on average, which basically means we should not be expecting a significant amount of bullish momentum in the imminent short term, and instead we're most likely going to see either some choppy sideways price action, kind of like what we saw back here, which was the last bearish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, or potentially a short-term pullback, which is also kind of what we saw back here after a bit of choppy sideways price action. So once again, reduced bullish momentum can either mean neutral or bearish in the imminent short term, as in potentially over the next 1 to 2 days or so. But remember, technically speaking, we still need to actually confirm this bearish divergence with at least 1, but ideally 2 red 4-hour candle closes. So just in the imminent short term, this could essentially pause the bullish trend and we could have a bit of a short-term setback. But once again, like we saw back here, this does not necessarily change the larger bullish trend at play right now. But anyway, now taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance here on the weekly time frame, and right now as I record in this video, the Bitcoin dominance is still running into this significant area of resistance, sitting in between 47.5% to 48%. 8.5%. And so once again, like I've explained in more detail in recent videos here on the channel, if we confirm a rejection from this resistance, that essentially confirms an altcoin season. But on the flip side, if we see a confirmed breakout in the Bitcoin dominance above this significant resistance, then that essentially means we are not seeing an altcoin season anytime soon, and the Bitcoin dominance going to the upside would mean Bitcoin outperforming the majority of the altcoin market. So essentially right now is an important time for the Bitcoin dominance. We are at a pivotal moment, but remember, considering this is on the weekly time frame, each one of these candles is an entire week. So this decision, whether we break out or reject here, could take multiple weeks, because obviously we're talking about the larger moves in the market, these large swing moves that usually last multiple months. So obviously if we confirm a strong rejection from this Bitcoin dominance and form a new downtrend like these previous times, then it's possible we could see a multi-month long altcoin season. But once again, for that, we still need to see some more confirmation actually confirming a strong rejection. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is on the 3-day ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is currently attempting to break out to the upside above significant resistance. And of course, if you've been watching my recent videos here on the channel, then you would know that this area of resistance is sitting in between around 1980 to 2040, with the 50% retracement level sitting at around 2060 to 2070. So once again, right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is currently trading above all of this important resistance. But of course, we are still yet to see confirmation for this breakout, because at the very least, we need to see at least a 3-day candle close. But ideally, we really need to see a weekly candle close above around 2060 to 2070, or even better, if we see a weekly candle close above around 2.1k, then obviously that would further confirm this breakout above this significant area of resistance. And in that case, if we do end up seeing a confirmed breakout above 2.1k with those weekly candle closes, for example, then in that case, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool here on the linear scale, we have the 38.2% Fibonacci level, which is the next highest Fibonacci level, sitting at around 2.4k. And now, just something to keep in mind, right now, the 3-day Ethereum RSI is currently entering into overbought territories. And if you're looking at the last few times this has happened, this briefly happened at the Ethereum all-time high back in November 2021, and it also happened briefly during early September 2021, just before a correction in the price of ETH. So obviously, based on that example that we saw during September, this doesn't necessarily mean that the larger bullish trend is completely over, because obviously, even though we saw this same signal during September 2021, we simply saw a correction up next, and then we continued higher with the larger bullish trend. But what it does mean is that potentially soon we could reach some sort of peak in the price of ETH before a correction, and then perhaps after a short-term correction, we could continue higher with the bullish trend later on. So obviously, at least for now, even though we are still within a larger bullish trend, this is a potential warning signal to at least pay attention to moving forward. And now, just zooming into the daily ETH to US dollar chart, and obviously right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is currently attempting a significant breakout above this important area of resistance, which is once again coming into play in between around 1980 to 2040. But at least for now, like I said earlier, this breakout is not yet confirmed, because we haven't even seen a daily candle close above this resistance. So we still need to see some more confirmation to actually confirm this breakout. And like I said earlier, once again, ideally we need to see at least a weekly candle close to actually confirm this breakout, considering how significant this resistance is. And as for support levels, if we do end up confirming this breakout, then I would expect this previous resistance to now act as new support in case we do see a bit of a short-term pullback. But in a much more bearish scenario, let's just say if we see a larger pullback, then in that case, we should have significant support down here at around 1770 to 1820. And obviously, it's just worth mentioning that the daily Ethereum RSI is currently entering into overbought territories, which means soon we are potentially due to see a bit of a short-term cool-off, which can either mean a sideways consolidation or a slight pullback or correction, because both sideways price action and bearish price action can help reset the RSI back down towards more neutral levels. And obviously, we've already seen this once throughout this bullish trend so far, which was back here during around January to February. We initially saw the Ethereum RSI on the daily time frame enter well into overbought territories, which began to form a larger bearish divergence on the daily time frame, and then we saw a correction in the price of ETH before eventually continuing the larger bullish trend. So basically, we could soon see some sort of pause from the larger bullish trend, potentially within the next few weeks or so. And obviously, as we get closer to something like that, I'll be sure to keep you updated every day here in these videos and also in real time over on my Twitter, link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. And now just taking a look at the shorter term, this right here is on the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, as of recording this video, obviously the price of ETH is still trending in the bullish direction, but right now the 4-hour Ethereum RSI is extremely overbought, which basically means the price of ETH has gone too far to the upside too quickly, and we need some time to cool off here in the shorter term. So once again, just in the shorter term, as in potentially over the next 1 to 2 days or so, it's likely we could see either some sideways price action or perhaps a bit of a short-term pullback, basically to help reset this RSI. And considering how high this RSI has gotten here in the 4-hour time frame, it's likely we could form a bearish divergence if the price forms a new higher high from here, because it would be pretty difficult to create a new higher high here in the RSI. So once again, just in the immediate short term, honestly, I would not be expecting a significant amount of bullish momentum, considering that's basically what we just saw already. And instead, we're likely going to see reduced bullish momentum here in the somewhat shorter term. But remember, that does not necessarily change the larger trend at play, which is still currently a bullish trend. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money if the price is just chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.